Hello? Yes,
We can hear you.
okay.
Okay, are we ready to begin?
Mhm.
Okay, let me call this meeting to order for the Northern Guam Soil and Water Conservation District. It's the regular board meeting, Tuesday, December 5th, 2023, 4 p.m. at the University of Guam College of Natural and Applied Sciences Building, room 126. It's right now 4:04 p.m. And let's we'll go to the next item. Roll call. You want to begin?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Chairman Joseph C. Santos.
Present.
Should I say Vice Chair?
Well, we don't have a vice chair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Treasurer Secretary Katrina Regis.
Here.
Director Thomas Tanaka Jr.
Present.
and Director Marlene Revo. Absent.
She's absent right now. She should be logging on soon. We have the reading of the last minute. Do you guys have a copy of it in front of you?
One moment.
Or did you guys get a copy of it?
One moment. Let me share that with you really quickly. You should. There we go. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
I can see it.
Or did you send it to them?
I have it and then I can send it to them.
Can you send it to them now so that they can look at it in their email separately from the chat? Or from the Zoom meeting?
Okay.
Yeah. What we'll do is we'll send it to you and then we'll come back to the agenda item. So you can just review the minutes itself and look at it, and then we'll read on. We'll go into the reading of the minutes, and then request for acceptance of the minute into the formal, formally. Okay, on the officers report, we have the district chair's report. I just wanted to indicate that or state that the vice chair has formally resigned from Teddy Conception from the board. And so we need to replace the vice chair with another one of the other district directors that may want to be a vice chair. And then do you guys have any recommendation for anyone that is interested in becoming a district director?
I have, Chair, this is Katrina speaking. I reached out to Island Girl Power Wanted Bloss. And so she said she just needs to see what the specs are that is required of her before she does commit herself to it. I'm thinking that we should keep the vice chair seat open. Let's not be too hasty in appointing that position. Right now, if I may, I'd like to make a motion to keep that position vacant for now, rather than making any kind of move at this time. So I'd like to make that motion to keep that chair vacant, or that position vacant.
Do I have a second? There's a motion on the floor to keep the vice chair.
Yeah,
position.
I can second.
Seconded by Director Tanaka. Open for discussion. No discussion. All in favor of the motion to keep the vice chair's position vacant until we can decide. Say aye.
Aye.
Director Tom.
Aye.
Aye. The ayes have it, unanimous. We'll keep the vice chair's position open. In terms of Director Tanaka, you have any recommendations for somebody that may want to be interested in the position?
You know, I don't know. Should we just leave that open? I don't know. Let's go through like a, you know, like a week or 2 week, you know, because I just saw the text this morning about Teddy's resignation, and you know, I was kind of surprised. I actually personally put in a call to him just to talk to him. I wasn't, you know, I was kind of surprised, but you know, I mean, I haven't thought about it, you know, but I don't know. We could maybe keep it open a week for nominations, or just maybe possible people who are interested in
Well,
participating.
okay, so anyways, what I wanted to bring up was the same sentiment, is that we, you know, will, if you have any recommendations for anybody interested, we can bring that up on the January meeting, or even in our joint meeting December 27th. And we can turn around and talk about that, getting if the individual's interested. Right now there's only 5 board members, so you know, there's 4 of us now that's available, and then we go from there. So what we'll do is we'll look at it in January, and on December 27th, our joint meeting. Okay, so let's move on from that. There's a bill that was introduced by the legislature. It was Bill 175-37, and it deals with allowing parental subdivisions and court distributions to go down to a house lot, which is 5,000 square feet, over a non-sewered area. And so they're giving that exception, and that's really one of the things that when we had a meeting with or rather a kind of like a conference with Weary and GWA on the Northern Aquifer specifically, and it shows that there's an increase in the nitrate level in the island, especially in the areas that are non-sewered. And so the legislature has introduced the bill, which is an urgent matter, because we need to address that, of allowing house lots or exceptions to exist, because there's already an exception, and it's not to the house lot size. It's more towards what EPA determines is the right size for the particular area that they're at in terms of percolation and soil. And normally it goes down to from 20,000 to whatever EPA authorizes, or Guam EPA authorizes. But I'm just letting you aware that there's a bill 175-37, and we'll send it out to you so you can do a review, and we should get some you know, what's the board stance on that, especially because it's over the Northern Aquifer area. As a part of that conference that we went to, they also talked about changing the definition of the groundwater protection zone, because apparently there's a setback from the shoreline, but yet the groundwater protection, the aquifer is actually the entire area, which includes the shoreline. And so that's one of the things they want to change or update in terms of a new a bill that allows the entire northern area to be just covered, and because there's exceptions, but those exceptions are more political than anything else. They go through, like, the military was exempted, the what do you call it again, the roads, highways, those were the areas of the Northern Aquifer. And so that has to be revised, so it considers that entire northern area to make sure it's protected from other types of activities that may impact the you know, the Northern Aquifer. Like we said, I will provide you a copy of what the Weary had presented in terms of the increase of not only nitrates but PFAS. They're identifying different types of PFAS on Guam. At how many was there? I think there was like 10 or 11 types of PFAS that was shown on the listing,
I think
and
it's
we'll provide that to you so you can look at it, because that's a concern, and that's over the northern aquifer, not in the necessarily in the south, but it's on the north, or from Hagatnya all the way up to the northern area.
Miss Marlene is joining in.
Okay.
Hi, Director.
so Chair, are we gonna go ahead and take the position then with Weary then? Because then we can refer to their report, because that's gonna have like an environmental impact.
Well, and that's what we're trying to do. Is we're trying to get from Weary the copy of the presentation and the report. Also, Guam EPA and also provided kind of like a white paper on their stance, because it was going through the legislative process, but through the governor's office, not through the EPA providing it, but they did provide a copy of it. So we want a copy of that particular thing, so we can provide formally an actual resolution and a letter to the legislature and to the governor of the district stance on that. It should come both from the south and the north, and so we need to coordinate that as a part of it.
Okay.
And so I just want to welcome Director Revo. She just signed in, and so she's present for the meeting. This meeting. Just letting you aware, we're right now at the district chair's report. By the way, I just wanted to go on. They had a biosecurity conference, or not a meeting, but a conference, and we weren't invited to it. As a matter of fact, I checked with some of the Invasive Species Council people, and they weren't also invited to it.
The
So
South wasn't invited as well.
yeah, so several of the members of the council weren't invited, and it was dealing with biosecurity, and we need to bring that up because I had questioned at one of the events that I was at. I asked the governor about it, and the lieutenant governor, and the lieutenant governor wasn't invited, by the way. It was only the governor. So she wanted to know what happened, and so I'm just going to draft a memo inquiring about us not being invited to something that was very prime. Or we are a direct member of, and we should have been invited to this event. I don't know why they're doing a selective. They're doing selective invites, and that was an actual biosecurity action that we should have been involved in. That actually completes the one on the district chair's report. I just wanted to bring up there are standing committees that we have and we voted on, and I just wanted to refresh the board's memory. We have a budget and finance committee, and the primary is Director Regis, and the alternate was Director Santos and Director Tanaka. On the regulatory and policy committee is Director Santos and Director Revo. On the education and outreach is Director Regis and Director Santos. On the Guam planning, which is the watershed and groundwater protection zone, is Director Tanaka and Director Santos. On the G3 committee is Director Concepcion and Director Regis. We need to look at that and see who can. Director Regis, are you going to fill in the thing as a primary?
Can I think on that?
Well, you're the alternate.
Yeah, I know I'm the alternate. Can I? Can you?
Well,
can
you know
you?
what? Just keep tabs on it until we can come up with another board member that can help in terms of doing it, or become a primary for that. Okay.
Okay.
But just keep tabs on the G3 committee, and if you can get with Teddy on what's the outstanding issues there and any documentation, so that we can make sure we're apprised of that. The Guam
Okay.
Indigenous Council is Director Santos and Director Revo. And then the Guam Forestry Committee, there's Director Conception, and there's no alternate to this forestry committee. I just wanted to bring up on forestry, there's right now a Pacific Island Forestry meeting in Kona, Hawaii. And it, you know, I was trying to see if we can get an invite to that or find out more about it. Right now, the forestry division is attending it. Even the biosecurity division is attending it. And so they're there at this Pacific Islands Forestry meeting in Kona, Hawaii. And you know, for us in the north, we need to consider that we don't have no rivers. So in reality, the one that protects our thing and helps in it is the reforestation of a lot of our particular areas and the protection of the old forests or the old habitats. And so and that is really important to us as part of our mission in terms of conservation. So and there are several forestry grants that are available under NACD that we can go and apply for and see what we can do in terms of projects for Guam or helping out our forestry efforts in terms of the Guam Forestry Plan. But those are the various committees, standing committees of the district. I just wanted to refresh your memory, and if there's anything that you want to bring up from their district directors at this time, especially Director Revo, you wanted to comment on one of the subject matters?
Right. Because I just felt that we put in a lot of work, you know, when we first got into the board on the SOPs and the job descriptions and whatnot. And I thought, you know, back then, I remember I was at the district operation. So I thought, hey, you know, I was going through my email, you know, why not build up on what we already have instead of, you know, starting from scratch, right? Because I firmly believe that we do need to, we do need, you know, just as NACD did, they revamped their district operation. So I think, so what I wanted to do was just do a compare and contrast of what, as a matter of fact, you know, I have to thank Director Regis on this one, because she allowed me to look at the FCAG, you know, job description. So that's what I used to draft. Actually, she and I worked on this, and it never went anywhere when we submitted it to our former chair before. Well, whatever initiative we brought up, it was always shut down. But we did put in a lot of effort in organizing this SOP and also the you know, this district operations stuff, because we really wanted to strengthen our back office. That was the first thing that we wanted to do. Yeah. So and then when you talk about forestry, I remember we were actually part of the forestry. There was a lot of traffic coming from agriculture, and we were part of that. I don't know if you know, because only Director Regis and I are left now from you know, of course I didn't finish up my tenure on the first term, but we were part of that. So we were getting a lot of email traffic from Christine Paharan. And I don't know if you guys are still getting that, but I don't see emails from them anymore.
Yeah, that was Director Conception, and I'm not sure what happened. I'm hoping that he can. I requested that he forward any information dealing with those two committees that he's in, the G3 and the Forestry Committee, and but he hasn't submitted anything or forwarded anything on it. But I strongly suspect that he was the one receiving it, not necessarily the district. This is why it's important that we use one email, or at least an email that shows for us, not the private emails, because we don't get to view or have situational awareness over what's happening in the various committees that were, or subject matters that we're involved in.
Yeah. But how we did it before, I know I agree with one, you know, centralized email, right? So that would mean that all of us should have the password, and I think you provided that to us. But what we were doing before, all the board members were actually CC'd on whatever committee was whichever, you know, board member was part of. So we were all we were all apprised of what was going on in that regard, except we were not allowed to speak because back then the chair was the only one who wants to speak. But you know, we were just minions, I guess. But that's how it was. So if we can improve on that process, so I think I agree with the centralized email now that we have a full-time staff. But see, my concern is one, and I'm not being selfish. Once we share her with NRCS, so 50%, she's going to be there 50% unless we can already start the process, you know, to do the hiring. That's the reason why I brought up, you know, before we get so far ahead of ourselves, I brought up her job description because, you know, basically looking out, you know, from the district operations perspective, excuse me. So, you know, we can't ask her to perform more than what's on the job description, only because she's a contract employee. She's not a straight out employee of our board. And then, you know, so if we can correct that, I think then it'll be a win-win on both sides. And then I was thinking about it when I talked about the benefits. We cannot give her benefits because she's not an employee. What we can do is incentivize her contract. So when we send her to like the training, you know, which is good because we're creating a career path for future conservationists, right? So it's a good thing that we're doing for the community. So we can incentivize the contract where, so then it covers us, you know, both the contract employee as well as the board. So we don't have to constantly ratify the expenditure that we are expending. So those are just the corrections that I wanted to propose.
Well, yeah, that's great. We'll make sure that that's incorporated. By the way, I just want to make a correction. It isn't 50% of the in NRCS. It's 25%.
Oh, they're only gonna pay 25%?
Yeah, it's based upon what they fund source they have available. And just like APHIS, they only have so much in terms of their budget. So likewise with getting employees and training them, they only have so much in their budget. So they'll only pay 25% of the salaries that are there, which is good. She gets trained.
Yeah, it's still a contribution. Yeah, it's still a contribution. Yes. Yeah. So yeah.
And then we can hire an individual that will do that same similar type thing and bring that person on board. But you know, once we seal that and we do that, then that's when we'll go out and look for another individual to bring on board. You recommend somebody?
But my question is this: we have the budget already. You know, we have a budget for a conservationist and an AA. So there's basically you know, an opportunity to do that transition. So then if we hire an AA now, knowing that our intent is to advance, you know, our current AA to be a conservationist, why can't we start the AA, you know, hiring process now so that they can work together? So basically there's continuity instead of, you know, advancing our AA now. Once we wait for that, I mean, realistically, how long did it take us to bring her on board? It took a while.
So what we'll do is we do, you're right, we have the money for that. What we'll do is we need to announce it, you know, and then go on and do the respective actions in terms of the due process. But we need to first make sure that she's engaged in with NRCS, because we may want to bring this other individual on to NRCS also, because that's the person we want to hire as a conservationist associate or conservation associate. So the issue is we need to make sure we're in line with it, that we can also bring this other individual on board.
Right.
Okay,
but
so
going back to my
we'll work on that. We'll work on that to do that, and we'll also work on doing the announcement, because we have to announce it and then get applicants in who want to be a part of it. You did send a listing of what the duties and specifications of a conservation associate should be, so we can take that and use that as the baseline for it. But
yes.
Let's move on to the treasurer's report.
Okay.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Director Regis.
Okay, here we go. Thank you. Okay, for our balance in the checking account is currently at $77,723.63. We received $5,134 in deposits, and our expenditures for that month is $3,951.77. We did receive $7,500 from Southern. They paid us back from the $15,000, and we got word that they will pay us the balance before year's end. I'm going to hold them to that. I will follow up on it. The balance in our savings account is $61,803.08. We do have pending expenditures. We've got the annual registration for the NACD meeting in San Diego, and that's approximately $2,300. We got ethics training of $400, the annual dues of $775. Then of course we have airfare. We've got QuickBooks for $60. So we've got approximately $8,341 outstanding or pending expenditures, but it's $8,341 plus. Do we have any questions on that, those numbers? The 5,133, I'm sorry, deposits were passed through from the general fund.
Okay, that's good. Great. Any
Okay.
questions on the treasury report?
No. Oh, then not on the report, but since we're talking about money, are we like paying like giving gas allowance or like paying for the phone for our staff? Is that part of the contract? Are those added incentives?
The gas we can, I already brought it up to her about getting her mileage so that we can reimburse her for the mileage, the gas use. So she's working on that. As to the, what's the other one?
The cell phone?
Or the cell phone, we're that's a thing we don't want to go down, or a slippery slope, because then if we're paying for the cell phone, that's going to be a problem with the other entities. Like for instance, we're using our own cell phone to communicate, and are we going to be assessed that we don't want to go down that route because if we go down that route, there's a problem. You have to account for the time that we actually used for the phone thing, and that's going to be difficult to come up, especially if you're going to do that, or say that, oh, let's pay for this. But on the gas issue, we can reimburse, or we'll reimburse. She just has to keep a track of the miles used on it, and there is a form, by the way, that you can use for that.
Yeah. No, here's my issue on the cell phone, and if I recall, if my memory serves me right, I believe that we authorize our staff to have a cell phone because we, unless so sometimes their service is only they do the prepaid or whatnot. So I mean, if it's official business, which we have. So I think that there's a way to do this. I remember, I just can't recall exactly how we did it for our staff before, but we did it because I know for us, directors, we're using our cell phone as well. I understand, like allocating, keeping track of the times used and whatnot. But now we're talking about, folks working for us full time. So I think that's where the difference is. But it's just a conversation I wanted to bring up so we can chew on that a little bit more. But I know we found a way how to do it for our previous staff before.
Well, I don't know. We'll look into that. But
Yes.
you're right. When we're using your own phone, we can't get an account for a phone because it's going to be a problem. You have to actually go to GSA for that. You can't turn around and have your own phone. Just like the credit card, the government doesn't want to do credit cards. So likewise with the phone situation, giving out phones, because you can abuse it can be abused, and actually people have gone to jail for the cell phone and for the credit card issue. So we don't want to go down that route. because we only make so much money. Now, the issue of the gas, those are where we can track, and there's a form for it, and that we can use and reimburse specifically our staff. But yeah, we're already working on that. Okay, so we're done with the treasurer's report. We'll move on to old business. On the NACD annual meeting validation, remember we said we need to, whoever's gonna go needs to be enrolled before our December meeting. So it's at our December meeting right now. Is there any
February meeting.
yeah, on our February meeting, we talked about the early bird regular registration, which is $575, and then there's several tours, and one district director, Director Revo, had brought that up about seeing if we can pay for that, because we can bring that information back on the different areas in terms of the tour. And there's also a welcome reception, which is $150. I don't know if that reception is part of the regular dinner, NACD dinner, because I don't remember it happening before at New Orleans. Correct?
I don't remember it in New Orleans, but in the past meetings that we attended before, there was a reception dinner that we went to.
No, I
And,
know we went to the reception dinner.
Yeah.
Did we pay for that?
Yeah, I remember we paid, but now I don't know for New Orleans. No, I remember for New Orleans, what we did was, if you wanted to attend the tours, you pay out of pocket. So that was the rule, not the ruling. I wouldn't say ruling, but basically, what the board decided. But then, I mean, the tours are actually, I mean, related to what we are trying to implement. So, if we are going to make the directors pay out of pocket, okay, then that's my question. Like the urban agriculture, it's a big thing now. So, and there's not a lot of, I mean, most of the farmers here were limited to not a lot of acreage of land. So urban agriculture will really will benefit, will really benefit on that practice. And then there's something about education. I don't recall. Oh yeah, you have it here on the screen. Sorry. Yes.
Oh,
this is the calculation.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
So there's two things that we need to look at. One is we need a motion if from the district directors, if we're going to pay for the tour and the welcome reception. If not, then it's on the individual if no motion's made. The second item that we need to talk about in the NACD is the per diem is only, or the room rate, maximum room rate is what? 194, right? Or something like that? 194, and the room rate right now is 200 and what?
59.
259. So there is an actual difference in the thing, and the board has to approve that because it's an overage of what's required under the room rate.
Okay, so we can do this in just one motion, right? Or do we have
You can do it in
have
one
two
motion,
motions?
but it's up to the it's up to the district directors to motion and vote on it.
Well,
Okay,
before we
go ahead
do
and make the motion.
before we make any motions, how many tours are there, Jen?
There's 4.
4 tours, and there's 4 of us going. So rather than all of us attending those tours, why don't we all take one each? That way,
I was thinking, yes, I agree. That's actually what I was thinking as well. So then we're going to break out, so we can consolidate the information that we have instead of all 4 attending the same one. I agree.
Yeah.
So let's make it a separate motion then. That from the per diem. Let's not mix the two together.
Okay, let's do it. I mean, you guys just have to we just have to do that.
Okay, so I'd like to make a motion that the board directors are allowed to attend the tours. Each director will attend a one of the tours, and the consolidated and accumulated information will be brought back.
Okay, how about the
No,
other?
Director Reggie said separated, so this is a separate
No,
motion.
no, I'm not saying this to separate it. There's also the welcome, something welcome.
Dinner. We'll separate all of them because they're all different costs. So
Okay,
that's why I
okay.
would like to get
So
it
three
separated.
motions? Three
Yeah.
motions?
Yes,
But it's
please.
for one event. But it's for one event.
I know, but the cost is all different. They all fall in different categories. Even
All
though it
right.
falls under travel.
There's
Even
a
though it falls
motion on
under
the
travel.
floor for each for the district to attend each of the tour, and because 4 members are going, each member will attend each of the different tours, and then we can come back with the results of that tour. Is there a second on the motion?
I second the motion.
There's a motion on the floor for the district to take to pay out to participate in the tours, made by Director Revo, seconded by Director Regis. Open for discussion. Any discussion? If there's no further discussion, do I hear a motion to approve?
Go for a vote.
I
Yeah.
thought it was a vote.
Hi, Director
Okay.
Tom.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
I
Aye.
Okay, motion carried. It's unanimous. Now we have the second item, which is the welcome
dinner.
welcome dinner or something like that.
I'll make a
Okay.
motion that the district pays for the welcome dinner for all 3 board members attending and the administrative staff.
I
There's a motion
second.
on the floor, for the district to pay for the welcome dinner, and seconded, made by Director Regis, seconded by Director Revo. Open for discussion. All in favor of
No
the motion?
discussion.
No discussion. If there's no discussion, all in favor of the motion, say aye.
I
Okay, unanimous, the ayes have it. The third motion is the room rate. The room rate right now is $259, and we can, the per diem is $194.
242.50. 194 times 6 times
Okay.
the 0.25%.
Okay, you got it?
So the difference is $16.50.
No, that's not the room rate. You don't do the room
No.
rate. You do the
Oh.
per diem. The per diem is totally one. The room rate
Okay.
is, the room rate and the meals constitutes the per diem. And we add on 0.25 to that, whatever that is, because I think it's $74 or $75 plus $194. And then you add on 25% to that. That's the cost. But then the room rate specifically is $256, and the GSA room rate is $194. So the board has to approve the difference of payout. If not, then you're only given $194, and that's it. So that's the third motion that needs to be made.
Okay. I'd like to make a motion that the board pays out the difference in the per diem for the NACD annual,
Not per diem, room rate.
the room rate for the
Yeah.
upcoming NACD annual meeting in February.
Okay, there's a motion on the floor to
Second it.
the difference on the room rate, made by Director Revo, seconded by Director Regis. It's open for discussion.
Yes, I got a discussion on that. I just wanted to make sure that the difference we are paying is $16 and what's the cents? 94 cents?
No, it cannot be $16 because it's $256. I think it's $256, right?
59,
$259, so it's
Minus-
$259 minus $194.
65.
So
actually-
it's 65. So it's $65?
Yes.
I'll make the corrections.
Yeah, it's
So that's
$65.
$16 that was floating around, okay.
It will be changed.
Okay, okay, so the difference is how much? $65?
Yes. So
Okay.
$65 times 4, if you're gonna do that.
Yeah, and we need to stay in the same hotel as the convention and the meeting halls. Okay, I'm good with the discussion.
Okay,
Oh, but
all,
can I
yes,
ask a question?
yes.
When do we get the reimbursement for the airfare?
You just, you send it to, you're supposed to send it to, Jenilyn, and then Jenilyn, takes a check and, it makes the check, and then the directors sign off on it, but it's substantiated with the, what the cost of the airfare is.
Itinerary? Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, got it.
So the
Thank you.
airfare, the maximum airfare that we went through, was 1583. So we have to stay under, now we have to, as of today, everybody should have already gotten their flight, and it should be around 1583.
I think mine is only 1568.
I don't know, that's what I saw, but whatever it is, 1500 or around there, not to exceed 1600, should be
Okay.
the air.
The threshold. Okay,
And then also the reimbursements, you need to send it to our AA, and our AA will process the check, and then for
Okay.
signatures, but it has to be substantiated with some type of documentation that you spend. So if you already did it, just send it to her, and or send it to the email or the chat, and then she can
Yeah, got
process
it.
the stuff, and you can get it immediately.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, so all in favor of the motion to approve the difference of room rate from 194 to 259, made by Director Revo, seconded, was it Director Revo?
I
Yes.
believe
And then seconded by Director Regis, say aye.
I
Okay, Director Regis?
Aye, I'm sorry, I thought I was on.
The ayes have it, is unanimous. So we're done with old business. Let's move on to new business. Or is there anything on the old business that you want to bring up dealing with NACD?
Yeah, I just want to make sure that our dues are going to be paid, that
I
we're
think that we
current.
signed
That's
the check, and was it
Mhm.
already
mailed out.
processed and mailed out? So it's processed and mailed out, so we should be receiving something or saying that we paid it in already in full.
Okay, so including our registration, because that's like $2,300, or is that going to be included in the check when we get our per diem? The $575, is that going to be paid individually to us, or is that going to be a one
That's-
check made to NACD
Okay,
with?
remember we said that you need to make the reservation yourself, then submit in both the flight, the registration, and then you submit it to our AA, who will take that and process the check in terms of the total amount there, and then the district directors can sign off on it, and just as long as it's not the district director that submitted in the request for reimbursement.
Is
So-
Well,
the
wait. Well, I was doing that, but when I talked to our AA, she said that the board was going to send one check for the registration. So I didn't proceed. I didn't register for the 575. So I assumed that the registration was already completed.
No, on our last meeting, we
Yes, no, I agree. So I was doing that, but when I had
okay.
a
So
conversation with
what we need to do is register, because if we send a check in, it may not get there in a timely manner. So what we want to do is we want to reimburse you immediately, so you're covered down on the registration.
Just pray. Not you can apply that with the one I'm applying is
Who's that?
Is Miss Bradley.
build oil.
Sounds like a guy.
It might be her son. I just needed her. But for the registration, yes, I did prepare a check for all of our registrations.
Okay,
But it may change because it would depend on who will be attending which now.
no, the
which
registration is a
host
one-time
events.
shot.
Yeah, but the host events
No,
are
the host
included
event
in it.
can be separated because it's a separate motion. So when you do the motion, you just say resolution number or
Oh,
motion
no,
number.
what I mean is in the registration for the NACD, it's going to ask afterwards, which host event are you going to be attending?
Yes, we have to correct that in terms of who's gonna attend that, those host events. I think I already registered for, let me see what I registered for. Cause okay, I registered for the urban agriculture.
I believe all of us are attending the urban agriculture since it's going to be changed. And then the 4,
No, we have to change that because they're all
Yes.
$75. The four
Except
tours
the
are separate and
museum.
so we just, yeah, but there's 4 events. Yeah, other than that.
There's 3 plus the museum, 4.
No, there's 4 events. I know I was looking at the tours and events. Hold on. We're just verifying the information. But anyways, the registration, are you I mean, we can pay it up, but I already made the payment for the registration. The sustainable agriculture, compost pollinator, the urban agriculture, the collaboration for forest health. Oh yeah, there's only 3 events. I mean 3 tours. Here, meeting tours. Hello, there's only 3 tours. Got it?
Director Marlene, Director Regis.
Are you gonna go?
No, I'm not. I told you I don't travel. I can't travel.
Do the
I got-
4th Street. If there's only 3 tours,
Hello?
then
She was born last year. I mean, this year. She's 1 year old. You can.
Yes, Director Regis.
only tours, then just, I would sign up for the agroforestry tours then.
There she goes. Oh,
Oh wow.
yeah, I'm not. It's okay, man. I got a lot of stuff.
The
going on.
forestry one. So there's 3. There's the sustainable agriculture, compost pollinators and wine, the urban agriculture in southern San Diego, and the collaboration for forest health.
Collaboration for forest health.
Okay.
Okay, so we'll get back with you guys on who's attending it and making sure we're on sync with the tours to make sure everybody's attending the respective tours. Let's go on to new business. The upcoming 2024 events. We have the joint annual meeting. That's going to be this December 27 from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. But it's going to only be 4 hours, and then the meeting will happen after that because there's going to be training. We need to do that board education training. That's a mandatory requirement and requires the chairs to submit it to the governor about that you meet that requirement. So we're going to have that, and so it's going to be down at what hotel?
Crown
It's going to be at the Crown Plaza Hotel. And it's going to be on the 27th. Please make sure you attend it. It's mandatory for the education training, the dinner afterwards, and the annual meeting is really not I mean, it's mandatory, but it's not. I mean, it's highly encouraged because we need a quorum by each board. And so go ahead.
I'm sorry, Chair, but is this available via Zoom? Because I'm gonna be off island So
Well,
I would like,
you can, it's gonna be available for you for Zoom.
okay, great,
I mean, it's mandatory to attend on Zoom.
perfect, thank you.
Okay, and then the next one we have it, which is we got the money for 34,000, right?
Mhm.
It's the Farmer Stress Outreach Workshop. We're gonna do it on the third Saturday of January. And so we need to make sure the board of directors or our board is available during that time to participate in the subject matter. We're trying to coordinate that with the RREA grant so that it's the same in the same topic of discussion with what Dr. Barber is doing with this grant. And so again, it's the third Saturday of January. We have to conduct at least three, right?
At least 1 to 2 farmer stress outreach workshops, and that's the Department of Agriculture grant, that 34,000 we received.
Okay, so we have to provide something to them, Department of Agriculture, that this is what we're doing, kind of like a schedule of events. So this is why we have to make sure we plan it accordingly. So we wanna kill two birds with one stone. The Farmer Stress Outreach Workshop and the RREA grant with Dr. which Dr. Barber's is hosting on there. So we have that. This was, by the way, committed. We committed to it from the last board, and then we had Director Regis and Director Conception that attended the training. So Director Regis, you need to be present at this particular Farmer Stress Outreach Workshop.
Yes, Chair, I'm aware of that. Are we also gonna do this with, jointly with FCAG or with Southern? Because I know at that last training of Southern, I was talking with FCAG and they were willing to go joint with us with this training, the farmer stress training with them. So have we reached out to them?
Not yet, but yeah, that you brought that recommendation up, and I remember I mentioned to you that let's do it, because it, like I said, the more the merrier, and the more we can involve, because it deals with farmers, and the farmers co-op has a representation in terms of the farmers, so we want to bring that into the mix. Now, by the way, on the Farmer Stress Outreach Workshop and the RREA grant, we have to provide some type of support refreshments to the workshops, and so hopefully the FCAP can get involved and provide maybe some vegetables or something that they deal in line. So we can
You gotta talk to Sharon.
yeah, we can make sure we get involved and include them in the mix. We want to get optimal, especially in the northern farmers. We want to get an optimal participation. So we need to send out a notice on the subject matter, and so we can see who wants to attend, how many people are going to attend it. So we prep for this particular workshop. Now and then get the space for it. I because we now seal the third Saturday, I can actually get the auditorium or the multi-purpose room at the museum, if you guys are amenable to it.
Well, you know what we'll do is we'll reach out to FCAG, see if they can survey the farmers, because Saturday morning, farmers are out selling their produce. I'm just going to give you heads up on that. That is their bread and butter right there on the weekend. So we need to be really careful about the days, because you may not get that optimal presence from.
We don't have to do it in the morning. We can do it in the afternoon. Again, it's just as long as we do it within one of those during that time.
Saturday, because we really need to think this thing through if we want their presence there. Because I'm gonna let you know, after selling on Saturday mornings, it's exhausting. I don't know if anybody's ever tried selling produce, but it is exhausting afterwards. So, can we still think about the date? Is that date still open? Can we think about maybe a Thursday or a Wednesday midweek during the week? I'm just gonna let you know right now, Saturdays and Sundays are gonna be hard for farmers.
So
Because Sunday,
can you take the lead on that and then recommendation? Because
I
we
can-
have it's in January, the third Saturday, so we need to lock that in before the month ends, so we're in line with it. I mean, can you come up with a recommendation?
I'll talk to FGAG, see what they can do to reach out to the farmers, particularly the northern farmers, because a lot of them are involved in selling their produce on the weekends. I'm just gonna let you know, Saturday is gonna be a really tough day for
Okay.
work.
Okay, got that. Now the RREA grant, the UOG wanted to do an MOA or MOU, and we said no because it requires us, the governor and the attorney general, to sign off on it. But our law and the university's law authorizes us to do a partnership agreement. So we're going to do a partnership agreement with the RREA grant, and we want to be able to take the subject matter that Bob Barber may be providing and put that as part of the Farmer Stress Outreach Workshop. In terms of there's several subject matters they're supposed to provide us with it.
Mhm.
I'd already signed a draft thing that I submitted out to them, but they haven't come back to us to finalize and say it's good to go. Just wanted to let you aware of that. On the next, is any questions on the RREA grant? No? So on the perimeter fencing grant, we'll know December 11th if we got it, and it's meant for the individuals that are on the NRCS list and the FSA list and the bona fide farmers list.
Mhm.
Okay, so if you're on that list, you're eligible to get funding for perimeter fencing.
They just have to have a track number,
Yeah,
as long as they
which
have
the
the track
FSA
number.
issues out.
Mhm.
Okay, so just letting you aware of that grant. We'll know December 11th. It's with
NACD.
NACD and the Northern District.
Oh, because that's where I'm having a lot of problems. I'm having a lot of feral pigs coming. I got portion of this is on a personal note, I have portion of my ranch with perimeter fence, but I have one opening that I would like to close so I can stop them from coming in.
Well, you're eligible for it.
Oh, yeah.
So you just are you on the list? You have a track number?
Oh, yeah.
If you have a track number, then you're good to go. We just have
When
to.
you say track number, you're talking about just the farmland management?
No. FSA gives you a track number if you're on the NRCS or bona fide farmers list.
Oh, I work with that, not NSA, but I'm on one of,
FSA.
I've worked with Eileen.
Yeah.
So she's helped me out, so I'm sure I have a track number.
Okay, so if you have the track number, then you'll be eligible for the grant.
Okay.
Okay, and the grant is meant for a half-acre property, I think, right? If it's a half-acre
Half
property,
acre to acre.
an acre.
Oh, mine's a lot bigger than that, though.
Well, that's all we have to do it per. That's the limitations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't need that much fencing.
Okay, so
Here, I got
yeah.
a question.
Yes.
Do
What is
we have the list for all the northern farmers? Perhaps we could reach out to these northern farmers about this grant, and that may somehow encourage them to come and attend the workshop on Saturday.
Well, one of the things that we were trying to get from Department of Agriculture specifically is a bona fide farmers list, but we're having some issues because Ursula has the bona fide farmers have to give their consent to give their address out, whether it's their phone number, their email address, or their mailing address. And so she's only providing the farmers that are authorized to give out the listing to us, even though the grants under them, they're only giving us unlimited. They're not giving us the full listing. They're only giving us what the bona fide farmers who gave consent to us.
Yes, Ursula Herrera gave us a listing for the ones who opted in the Guam Soil and Water Conservation Districts only, which may not be a full list because they're half north and half south, but
there's an issue with that, and I need to bring that up to the director, and I'll get with her. The law makes it clear it's the bona fide farmers from and the only one that does a bona fide farmers list is Department of Agriculture. And if the Department of Agriculture doesn't want to do that, then what we'll do is we'll just send it out to them that this is available. You need to send it out to the bona fide farmers and let them be the one to do the notification, because either they provide us the list or they don't provide us the list. And we're not going to accept only because they do it. The law makes it clear it's bona fide farmers. It doesn't say restricted lists. It's bona fide farmers. And so what we can do is, if they're not cooperating with us, we can turn around and inform them that then they'll be the one, because they even though they have this grant that we're dealing with, the Farmer Stress Outreach Workshop, that's what we want to focus on, and that's why we brought that out, was to also allow them in terms of the other grant that we're getting, which is the perimeter fencing grant. But allow these individuals to say that they can apply for it, so we can notify them, and they should be on our registry, not this restricted thing that Ursula Herrera is saying. But I'll get with the director on that and find out how we can work best to get the best notification to the bona fide farmers. And to see if also they're part of FSA or NRCS in terms of a track number. Anything else?
May I add? So the goal for the Farmer Stress Outreach Workshop, the RREA grant, and the perimeter fencing grant, the goal is to kind of combine all of those.
Yeah.
So it makes it easier for us having one workshop after the other, and if we have stable participation, as it would hopefully help with the stress of the perimeter fencing. I remember Director Regis was suggesting we work with Farm to Table in regards to budgeting, other than the QuickBooks training that would help with the farmer stress outreach. So not just one workshop, but possibly multiple. Because the farmer stress outreach workshop is also in collaboration with the Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center. So their first workshop, which is mental health aid, first aid, is like 8 hours. So we have to consider which workshops we want to use from the Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center, as they would provide multiple, if we want to go ahead and go forth with that.
Okay, so Director Regis, can you get with our staff and settle that issue, so we have an actual recommended lock-in date, and then we can lock in the location from there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then. Let's move to the next one. The Stewardship Week is April to May, last week of April, first week of May. And there's a poster contest that goes along with this. And we wanted to announce it, send it out to the schools and see if they can, if they want to participate in it. Again, there's the there's a local, and then there's the NACD one. If they win, I think if they win with the NACD, they are transported. They have free of charge transport to attend the winter thing. But the district can put out, especially for the northern schools, maybe some type of funding that authorizes them by grade level. You know, like we can set aside like 500 for elementary, maybe 1,000 for middle, and then 1,500 for high schools, and whoever wins will get them involved in it, and their organizations can get involved. So that's what I'm looking at in terms of the stewardship week. And as part of stewardship week, by the way, they talk about tree planting, because that's the tree planting part. And you know, we were supposed to tree plant at the farmers co-op, but I don't think that happened, and we need to push for that. And maybe we can use the farmers co-op as a place to do the tree planting and get the schools involved in it. What do you guys think?
There's not a lot of good soil for planting trees there.
I know, but we're gonna plant trees that are geared towards that type of soil, limestone. You know, EFIT will work well there. I mean, I have an EFIT tree behind my house and it's awesome. You know, what type of tree will work there also? Agatellan will work there. What is it? Abang will work there. And they're small, they're not necessarily tall trees, they're small understory trees.
I mean, for me, you know, I would prefer to plant, you know, I mean, if it's important and those other trees, but you know, I would prefer to plant at least some sort of fruit trees that at least they can.
So we have to involve ADS in it, if ADS is gonna.
You understand what I'm saying, right?
No, I'm saying it's a farmer's co-op.
Yeah.
Plant the trees like the alligator or the mango or the abas or the
But again, I don't know if those trees, you know, I mean, will take well on that type of.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. By the way, I have EBA and it works well. I mean the soil's there, but when you dig further down, you're right there with coral, and I'm like, holy cow, it's so you know, I guess it depends on how you manage the tree when it's starting out, because once you manage it well and it takes off, then you're good to go. But yeah, I mean, we can involve ADS. Again, farmers co-op needs to just get involved in it. But I'm asking, what do you guys think as directors? Do we want to proceed down that route by including forestry and ADS in the mix?
Yeah, I mean, if it's for the tree planting, I think those are important partners because that is really their the area of expertise, right?
Right.
Yeah. So.
Okay. Director Regis? Yes.
I agree. I think we should collaborate with FCAG on this matter.
Okay. So when you bring that up about the outreach workshop, can you also bring that up about the stewardship tree planting? Because we were supposed to do that just this previous fiscal year, but it didn't happen. I don't know what happened.
Well, I know the tree planting is usually in October. That's really the Arbor Day. That's what happened last year, but I don't know where that took place. I don't know what happened this year in October, but I'll find out when their next board meeting is, and then perhaps present it. Okay.
Director Tanaka, you think because you're in the farmers co-op, right?
Yes, I am.
So can you bring that up as a board member there?
Yeah, I guess, you know, I mean, I missed the last meeting, but yes, I guess.
Well, if you can bring that up, it's stewardship week.
Yeah.
We can do the coordination in with.
Can you give me the information to provide on the stewardship week and what we want?
Okay.
If you can give me the paperwork, I can forward it and recommend it.
Okay, we can do that. Okay, so let's anything else on stewardship week? Educator Symposium, that's August 2024. The South said they'll definitely participate in it, and it's may the forest be with you always. And so we can turn around and what we want to do is there's an A&A grant that's due in February, and we can do a lot of the localization of publications and provide it out to for the schools to use. And if we get the grant, then we'll be good to go, and we can incorporate a lot of those publications into the educator symposium, especially because it's made the forest be with you always action. And on the last symposium, we invited not only private school, public schools, but we invited private schools and other types of educational children's schools. So it was actually pretty successful and really good. They liked it a lot. We just need to plan for it, and like I said, the South is participating in it, so we want to make sure that we form a committee for this, and this is where the committee will get involved in terms of its education and outreach and committee, Director Regis.
Yes.
You have a lot on your plate.
Welcome back.
Yeah, I don't want to overwhelm you, so it's education and outreach, so we can work together. Because I'm the alternate and you're the primary.
Good. Yes, we can do that.
Okay.
We'll get it this way. We got a lot of leeway now. Rather than last year, I think we only had like a month for prep. This one now we have ample time to prep for this one. And I really like the title, May the Forest Be With You Always. I thought that's pretty cool. Play on words. Perfect.
Okay, there's a on the Friends of the NACD grant, there's an Envirothon on that grant that's due 15 December 2023. It's more of a diversity grant than anything else. And if you guys want to apply for that, we can apply for that, and hopefully get that grant too as part of our on our belt in terms of assisting in terms of those programs.
I sent the link via WhatsApp for your review in regards to what the grant is about.
You want to bring up what the grants?
It's for diversity enhancement for those underserved. So I believe Guam would qualify, but we would also have to collaborate with the coordinators of our region. So it says examples of projects can include but are not limited to participation projects to assist with travel and registration costs for teams who have been prohibited from participating in Envirothon events in the past due to lack of funding, outreach and engagement projects that encourage and facilitate participation of historically underserved communities and students in the Envirothon, cultural inclusion projects incorporating underrepresented cultures into state or provincial Envirothon competitions and or programs in the form of ceremonies, histories, oral traditions, indigenous systems of science, traditional ecological knowledge, etc., or translation of education materials into languages other than English. Projects that improve environmental literacy and provide students access to hands-on learning experiences, as well as accessibility to projects that seek to adapt training and or testing access to accommodate hearing, visually, or mobility impaired students. And this is by the USDA Forest Service and the National Conservation Foundation, as well as Envirothon. They're also partners with NACD as well. So I thought this would be a good replacement for the Friends of NACD grant, which was due on the 30th of November. This one is due on December 15th. So as long as the project goal that we want to do increases diversity, DEI with local, state, and provincial Envirothon programs, improving access to hands-on outdoor natural resource education opportunities, encouraging education exploration and educating young adults on the importance of conservation. So that one's what that's about.
Okay, so what do you guys think? Tom, you have anything?
That's that's the same deadline as agriculture's micro grants. I'm not so sure. I mean, it sounds great and everything, but who's gonna have the time for this? Because, you know, the same deadline that micro grant is due for Department of Ag.
I think the opportunity for us in this would be what we had presented before at the ANA grant workshop. But at the ANA workshop, they said that the children's book may not be a big enough project, so they had suggested we do a conservation and stewardship program with publication. My thoughts on this is to do the publication with the children's book for this, because that would include the cultural inclusion project of underrepresented cultures, or improve environmental literacy in regards to the culture. Maybe that would be something we could do.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm all for it. It's just that who's going to be involved in the writing of this? You know, the literature of this grant and everything. Because I don't know.
One of the things we want to do is we want to take, if you go to the ngswcd.net.org, there's the one dealing with the education hub, and if you look at it, it talks about the different symposium subject matters that we were actually talking about. We want to take that and localize it and make it uniquely ours, that brings culture into the book itself, or the books. And so it talks about pollinators, stewardship week, the various contests that are associated with the children or education, but it involves a lot of the different areas. And so what we want to do is we want to take a lot of those publications and make it uniquely island Guam type, and then bring it into some type of conservation program that not necessarily the kids but the adults can get involved in, and then provide it to the schools, or have the schools provided as part of their the outline for their any of their science projects or their cultural projects.
It sounds great. I mean, I'll support it. It's just, I don't know how much commitment I can provide to help write this grant. That's where I'm.
You're not gonna write the grant. We'll take care of it from there. In terms of the grant, we have other resources that we're using or looking at to get involved with it.
Okay, great.
Okay, so that's where we're at in terms of that. Is there is there anything else in terms of new business that you guys want to bring up for the next meeting, or for the regional meeting, or not the regional meeting but the joint meeting?
Oh, I wanted to our annual report. How are we going to do that annual report? Are we going joint with Southern?
No, Southern has already done their annual report. We just need to do our own annual report, and it's due December 30th or December 31st. And that's not, I think we're already in line with getting that taken care of. Erica's provided a copy of her annual report, so we're good to go in terms of that. Is there anything else than miscellaneous? Oh yeah, the STAC meeting is December 6th, which is tomorrow. That's where you want to talk about?
And that's just the NRCS STAC meeting. We have two conflicting meetings, the NRCS and the NACD Pacific Region Zoom call. They're both Zooms. They're both tomorrow and they're both at 9 a.m.
So who wants to do the stack meeting? Who wants to do the Pacific region meeting?
Well, I have to attend the Pacific Region meeting.
You have to attend it, right? Correct?
That's correct.
Okay, and so who's gonna do the NRCS stack meeting? Anybody? Okay, so Jenilyn and I will get on the what is it? It's the NRCS stack meeting, and Katrina, because you're sitting on as the executive officer for the Pacific region, you're gonna attend that meeting, right? Katrina?
Yeah, sorry, I just want you to know there's just the three of us in this meeting now. At least when I looked into the chat group, it's just the three of us now.
Tom is with us in person.
I'm here.
Oh, okay, perfect. Oh, wow, I'm sorry. All right, Tom, way to go.
Yeah. You want some water?
I have water.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we're good to go 9 o'clock in the morning. We could do a Zoom meeting, and you take care of it and come back with some feedback as to the Pacific region meeting, and then we'll come back with the NRCS stack meeting. Okay, and anything else?
Oh, you said come back with this meeting. We're setting up another meeting to meet again?
No, just some type of feedback of what happened with the meeting. You know,
Okay.
when now the topics of discussions were, and this is where how we're headed, or where we're headed. So we have some type of situational awareness. Okay.
Okay, got it.
Okay, other than that, just a reminder, the December 27, 2023, from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m. More than likely it'll be done by 5, maybe 6 o'clock, and then we eat dinner. What we wanted to do, what the South was recommending, is that we do some type of, because it's the holiday season, to do some type of holiday, Christmas, New Year's holiday action, and so, you know, it's going to be down at Crown Plaza. We have the room, and if you go in, the pool's right there. There's a bar, and then there's this space that's that's a meeting room. They made it into a meeting room. Other than the island, what is it, Islander, or what's that brunch place?
Terrace?
Yeah, the terrace, not the terrace. So when you walk in, you just go towards the right.
Towards the right, there's a bar, but they also serve food from the restaurant.
But we're gonna.
So then you can go outside, and there's another bar.
No, there's a
coffee. I'm sorry, there's a coffee shop.
right.
And then outside there's a bar, but I know there's some seating areas.
No, but there's a room.
It's called the studio.
The studio, and there's a room there that's where we're gonna be at. It has a conference table, and then, you know, for the meeting, it's specifically for us, especially on the educational training side, board education training, and then we can go from that to there. We already completed all the ethics portion of it, so that takes a lot out of what we need to worry about. But there's other parts that we need to be concerned about, and then that will take us into the joint meeting where we look at the strategic plan and what the North and the South is supposed to do for this remaining fiscal year.
When is the fiscal year end? December?
No, the fiscal year ends on September. But we should have had this joint meeting in September or October, but we didn't have it, and so now we're having it in December. And you know, Erica finally came back, so it looks like she's the one for the South taking the bull by the horn, and helping guide the board
Mhm.
versus what's going on. So this is why December is the time when we can have it. We tried to have the meetings, but they kept on postponing it. You know, the dates of the joint meeting, because either one of their board members is off island or and so this is why finally we all agreed to December 27.
Oh, yeah, after the holidays.
Yeah,
Yes.
after the holidays.
Everything
not
has
be
been
here.
reserved already.
What?
Yeah,
You have to zoom in.
yeah.
What do you mean you may not be here?
I had just something that came up that may take me off island.
Okay, well, you know, just keep us apprised of
Yeah.
the situation so we don't go into it. Before we break, there's a reading of the last minutes and then acceptance of the minutes to the board. You wanna begin? Okay, you wanna just read what happened and then the actions, tasks, events.
1 minute.
You got this? Yeah.
I'll grab this one. So the task that needed to be done for the last board meeting was to complete the meeting minutes for October. Retrieve all travel reports from board members who have traveled to clear travel qualifications, which some are still pending. Mr. Joe, I actually got your New Orleans per diem paperwork, as well as Miss Kat's travel for New Orleans as well. And then her Lake Tahoe, I have them as well. I'm pending Director Marlene's information as well, and former Director Teddy, if we're still requiring that.
Well, required, but he's resigned, so you know, I mean, what are you gonna do?
And then the other one, the actions, the board resolution, the FY 2024 budget ratification was approved. And then another task is resolution to be discussed with board on next meeting, which is the ratification of the budget that needs to still be provided to the board members as well,
The ratification of,
the budget,
oh, but then we did that last meeting, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
I mean, we approved it, you were gonna make the budget and we're just gonna ratify it with a vote, right?
Yeah,
No, we already
you guys
ratified it.
just have to review it.
It's just submitting it to you guys, and I just forgot to submit it to you guys. I'm
Are we
sorry.
done? Is there a motion to adjourn the meeting?
No, not yet. We have to do the minutes.
Wait,
We haven't done the minutes because you guys are supposed to review it.
yes, the next action that was done by the board was all Northern Guam board members and support staff to attend the 2024 NACD annual meeting. Attached to that was provide updated travel request form for NACD annual meeting to the board, which I did provide via email as well as via WhatsApp. The next action was the board resolution for the NRCS agreement ratification to include staff to learn about conservation. In regards to that, I didn't receive any response from Corey or Jay about the updates to update the NRCS agreement yet. So I'm gonna follow up again.
Corey, Jay's not, so who's managing, cause
Corey is the Hawaii coordinator, partners coordinator.
Jay,
Jay is here on
I
island.
know, but Jay, I mean, I've been getting a lot of calls from NRCS, but it's not Jay, it's all these new people coming in. I think
Yeah.
even the last meeting we had
A new person.
a new person from NRCS.
Okay.
I'm not sure. Yeah.
Maybe I'll try reaching out to the one that attended their partners meeting.
Yeah.
And then the next task was for Miss Charlene actually, which we would follow up on. She needs to provide the cost of testing for other diseases that would include the matching funds that they have provided us or that we have provided them as well. We would need to get with Department of Public Health and Mayor's Office involved in the partnership, as well as retrieve a localized pamphlet of feral swine data for community from her as well.
Mm.
And that's basically all the actions and tests from the last meeting.
Okay. Do I have a motion to accept the minutes?
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes.
Do I hear a second?
Second,
Okay, there's a motion on the floor to accept the minutes of the what, of the November 9th, 2023 board meeting. Made by Director Tanaka, seconded by Director Regis. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Okay, the aye. Okay, the ayes have it. Motion carried to accept the minutes. But there's no technical corrections. So,
Pending any technical corrections.
okay, if there's nothing else, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Okay, so moved. Motion adjourn. I mean, we're adjourned.
All right.
Thank you very much,
Welcome back.
directors.
thank you, Chair.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you, Tom. Good
Yeah,
meeting.
okay. Thank you.
We got one
Very
back.
productive.
Thank you.
It's all-
Okay, bye, everyone.
Bye.